Hey loves, it's Brianna K. Today's video, we are in the kitchen doing some healthy meal preps. I've got a bunch of recipes for you. Make sure you're subscribed and let's get cooking. All right, this first recipe is a chicken fajita soup. I love this because it is packed with protein, has a bunch of veggies, it's made with a bunch of fresh ingredients. It's great for you and it's so easy to just have in the fridge. I love to heat up a bowl for fast lunch or on a really busy night. Like my 3 kids are in so many activities these days. Sometimes I just need to be able to heat something up really fast. What you need is some chili powder, some ground cumin, salt and pepper, oregano and paprika, and then lime juice, a red onion, and I like using different colored peppers so that the soup is more colorful looking. So I got a red, a yellow, and a green. You could obviously use an orange one too. And some fresh cilantro. You'll need pulled chicken, about 2 cups worth. So I usually do like 3 to 4 chicken breasts, just kind of depending on the size. That's like what you want for your protein. And then 28 ounces of diced tomatoes. So either get the big can of diced tomatoes, or I personally like mine to be a little bit spicier. So I like getting Rotel better. For some reason though, my grocery shop, I thought I put more, maybe I only put 1, it's probably my fault. I only got 1 can, so I'm gonna use half of, ding ding, I'm gonna use half of this can and half of the Rotel when I make it today. But if you don't like it as spicy, don't use the Rotel. And then a can of black beans. You'll need some minced garlic and then some chicken broth. But let's get to prepping the veggies and then I'll show you exactly how to make this chicken fajita soup. But let me know as you're watching, how was your Christmas? And do you have any goals or resolutions or anything that you want for this upcoming new year, 2024? Anything that you want to accomplish or do, or let me know down in the comments. I'm curious to see yours. Again, this is chicken fajita soup. So a lot of times fajita peppers are kept longer like this, but you obviously want to be able to eat it with a spoon. So we are gonna just make these a little smaller pieces of onion. You don't have to make it, you know, perfect, but make it so that it would fit on a spoon. Okay, and now for the peppers. I'm actually going to use half the peppers for a recipe I'm making later in this video. So I'm gonna save a half. And then for these, you just wanna take out all of those seeds and the stem and any of like the really thick sort of white meat that would not cook down very well. And then we're gonna dice these up the same way as the onion, where they're small enough to fit on a spoon. As to yours, my resolutions for this year are mainly just focused on trying to really improve just overall wellness and health. I think the last couple of years have quite honestly had just like a lot of trauma, and there's been so much healing that needs to, I think, still happen. So that's what I'm trying to do in 2024, is heal and find a sense of calm and peace again. So one of the things I've been trying to find, and maybe if somebody out there has gone to something like this that was really cool and impactful, you can give me your recommendations. But I've been looking for essentially like a wellness retreat vacation. Like I want to do all the things that I know like helped me in the past, just feel better and heal when it comes to not just like yoga, but I love doing like sound baths. Like I feel like that's so good for your mental health, and like meditation. I think there's like something about pampering yourself a little, so like a little bit of like massage options. But I don't know, like even if there's like a therapy or just like ways to better yourself, like some type of classes you can take. Does that exist? Is there like a vacation that I could go somewhere that's like a spa and yoga and meditation and therapy like all rolled into one? If there is, let me know, because I want to go. That will be on my vacation bucket list for 2024 for sure. How yummy and colorful this looks. Those real ingredients. We're gonna add in a couple big heaping spoonfuls of garlic. Because you know, onion and garlic especially, they have like such amazing properties for your immunity. And then I've just got some olive oil here. And I'm gonna just do a little zhuzh over all those veggies. Woo! And we're gonna cook these up on just like medium low heat until they're slightly softened. And then we'll add in some of the other ingredients. All right, while these veggies are cooking up, I did just want to take a minute to tell you about today's video sponsor. I have been taking Gem for the last 2 months, and I'm so excited to partner with them and tell you guys about this. So the whole reason I wanted to make this video with healthy recipes for you guys is about 2 months ago, so like early November, I was just feeling so low and I felt like I had no energy. My mood was awful and I wanted to make some changes in my diet and just taking care of myself. So I realized I was definitely not getting enough protein and I wasn't getting enough nutrients. Fun fact, 90% of Americans are not getting the proper amount of nutrients that they need every single day. So I think this is something that happens to a lot of us. But you know, being a mom of 3, I have to take care of myself so that I can take care of my 3 kids. And we all have that. We all have responsibilities and things in our lives that we have to do, that we should be taking really good care of ourselves so that we can help others and do the things that we need to get done. So I decided to focus on my diet, and that's when I started to do some research of like, what vitamins can I be taking? Well, a lot of like vitamins that are pills or especially like gummies are made with not natural ingredients. That's where Gem is totally different. So it is made with real foods. It has over 20 different vitamins and minerals. It has prebiotics, it has probiotics. And I promise you, when you try these, just the taste of them, they taste so real. There's just a little hint of sweetness. The flavor is citrus ginger, so I pick up on a little bit of like zesty, citrusiness too. But it's just this little soft chew. Take one every single day. Oh my gosh, I have noticed such a difference in my mood, in my energy. It's been almost 2 months now. It's about like a month and a half since I've been taking these. Holy cow. And when I read the reviews on their site, because I was like, is this just me? No, the reviews, like people are saying it helps their hair and their skin and their nails, and also said they have more energy and their mood is better. Also their digestion. A lot of people commented about that, about how like it's really helped with their digestion every day too. You know, if you have the right nutrients powering your body then just works and feels completely different. So I know that this time of year after the holidays, you know, you can be eating a lot of foods that aren't your normal. You might be wanting to try to be a little bit healthier and focus on yourself and your wellness. So that's why I wanted to partner up with Gem and recommend them to you guys. I've just noticed such a great difference since I've been taking these. And right now, Gem is offering my subscribers 50% off of their first month. So you can go to dailygem.co, I'll put it here, /Brianna K, and use my code Brianna K at checkout. All right, back to this pot. Those veggies are getting nice and softened. All right, I've drained this can of black beans. I'm gonna add that in. This is another like great source of protein too for the soup. And here's that can of rotel. And don't drain that one. I am gonna add in half of this then diced tomatoes, and I'm gonna save the other half for a recipe we're making soon. Take a guess. What recipe do you think we're making next that I use these in? Just love all the beautiful colors of this soup. And now we're gonna add in all that pulled chicken for protein. Yum, yum. So just the reason why I sort of started focusing more on protein is I just did an overview of what I was eating every single day, and I definitely had so many times, because I was on the go and busy as a mom, just reaching for fast food and snacks, and they didn't have a lot of protein in them. So even though I was eating things, it really wasn't fueling my body, and I think that's why I was feeling so little energy and just I wasn't motivated to do stuff the way that I normally am. It was very strange. I needed a little reality check. So I started following some different nutrition people and fitness people that talked a lot about just easy ways to incorporate more protein into your diet and like how much you should actually be having, and how oftentimes as women, if we don't have enough protein, we actually hold on to weight. Like our body won't lose weight if we're not getting enough protein, or we'll continue gaining weight if we're not getting enough protein. So again, this was like a reel that I watched, but they said divide your body weight in half, and that's essentially your goal then for how much protein to have every single day in grams. So like I'm probably right now between like 130 to 135, so I should be having about like 65 grams of protein, like 65 to 70 grams of protein every single day. So I've just tried to make like every meal have lots of extra protein in it. So I'm eating a lot more eggs. I'm actually eating a lot more like meat when it comes to things. Like I'll have deli meat on hand, or, you know, I'm putting make sure I have extra meat almost that I'm putting into the soups, or if I'm making taco bowls, I do like a double portion of meat than what I ordinarily would do. And adding like protein powder to your Greek yogurt is like the one person I follow, that's his like life hack, he says, to staying healthy and maintaining your weight, is put protein powder and collagen powder, he says too, in your Greek yogurt. So link the one guy who I'm talking about in the description box below. You can follow him. But I feel like that's just been, again, really helpful for me at just changing what I should be eating every single day. Okay, now we're adding in chicken broth. All right, let's season her up. We got 2 teaspoons of chili powder, teaspoon ground cumin, teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon dried oregano, some salt, some fresh chopped cilantro, and finally some pepper, and the juice of a lime. Give this a good stir, and we're gonna simmer it on low to medium heat for ideally at least 30 minutes. You know, the more you can kind of let it simmer, the flavor gets a little bit better, but at least 30 minutes, you know, if you're making this to actually eat that day, so that those flavors get all cooked together really well. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. And I mean, I love when food is pretty and colorful, and I feel like this is such a beautiful, colorful soup. Yum. All right, something you could do to the soup, if you just, you know, are looking for something a little, I guess, heartier and cozier, you could add a half a block to a block of cream cheese and make it like a creamy fajita soup. It would kind of be more of like a chicken quesadilla soup if you did it like that. But I'm not gonna add it to this. I'm gonna just kind of use toppings like sour cream and some shredded cheese to sort of give it, you know, more of that taste of when you're eating a fajita with all of those toppings. But just an idea in case you're looking for something like, if you like a creamier soup, you could add a block or half a block of cream cheese if you wanted to sort of limit the calories. Or even like Greek yogurt is oftentimes a really good substitute for cream cheese. And again, it's packed with protein. So if you wanted to make a creamier, even higher density protein soup, add some plain Greek yogurt. Make sure you don't accidentally get vanilla. That would make it taste horrible. But plain Greek yogurt could also kind of cream and protein this up a little bit more too. All right, let's serve up this chicken fajita soup. Sprinkle on some Mexican cheese. Add a little dollop of daisy. I love this squeeze pouch, not gonna lie. I feel like it makes it so much easier to add whipped cream to things. Not whipped cream, sour cream to things. And some tortilla strips. I feel like food always looks a little prettier when it has a green garnish, so some fresh cilantro on the top. Oh my gosh. Get in my belly. Holy cow. All right, let's do a little taste test. It's my favorite part of making these cooking videos, is getting to eat the yummy food. Okay. Might be kind of hot, so hope I don't burn my mouth off. I'm like nervous, it's hot. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is so, seriously, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited to eat this the rest of the week. I mean, especially like, I know I was saying earlier, like you could add the cream cheese to it, but just like the cheese on top, like look at this string of cheese. It's so good. If you end up making this, tag me on Instagram so that I can share. But let's get started on another recipe that I know you guys are gonna love too. It's another great one that you can freeze like leftovers, so you have some things in stock. Okay, this next recipe is in my cookbook. This is my xoxo family meatballs and red sauce. It's amazing. Like we make this every single Christmas Eve, and I don't know, it's just like family and brings like so many memories of when I was little, and we'd eat this as well. But here is what you need for the meatballs to start. So you're gonna get, whether it's ground beef, I like getting the meatloaf mix though. This is a combination of beef, pork, and veal. So I like that the best for the meatballs. And you're going to need an onion, an egg, some garlic, some mustard, Worcester, and some breadcrumbs. And then for like seasoning it all, some basil. You also need some milk for the meatballs, garlic salt, parsley, and some pepper. Then for the sauce portion, you need 3 28-ounce cans of tomato sauce, and then a can of diced tomato sauce. So I'm gonna use that extra can that we had over here. Some tomato paste. Then this is optional, but I include it every single time because I think it just flavors the sauce so well. Get some pork and just cut this into 1-inch strips. They're like little tiny strips. Add to the sauce, like just the flavor of it is like, wow, it's so good. Some red wine for that flavor as well. Gothic, of course, would be my recommendation. And then some garlic salt, parsley, Italian seasoning, the basil, and salt and pepper to kind of season up that sauce. But oh my gosh, this is so good. Again, it's like so yummy, and it's just, you know, when it's like a homemade sauce not coming from a jar, there's just something different about when it tastes so fresh. So I love this recipe. So here you go. All right, in this mixing bowl, we are going to add the meatloaf mix. And 1 egg. Then add in 1 small chopped onion, a heaping tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, teaspoon of mustard, tablespoon of Worcester sauce, 2 tablespoons of milk, 3 tablespoons parsley, some fresh chopped basil, smells so good, teaspoon of garlic salt, teaspoon kosher salt, and some fresh cracked pepper. Now this next part is optional, but if you want to make them cheesy meatballs, you can add some Parmesan cheese to these as well. So we're gonna have the cheesy meatballs this year. And then you're just gonna combine all these ingredients and roll them into 1-inch balls. This would also make a great base for a bomb Italian meatloaf. You could bake this and add some tomato sauce on the top instead of like ketchup, and it would be like an Italian style meatloaf. It'd be really yummy too. If you don't want to make meatballs, you can do meatloaf. Roll in our balls. Sorry, by the way, I used like fake tanner. And I feel like you can see where it obviously like doesn't go to my hands. So sorry if this looks a little bit funny, but it's what happens when you live in Ohio. I miss my year-round sun in Hawaii. Sometimes I wonder if maybe that's part of the reason why I felt so much lower. Like it was around the time daylight savings happened, so there's just in general less sunlight, but especially here then it gets dark so early, and I don't know, I think it just all really messes with your mood. Because fun fact, there isn't daylight savings in Hawaii, so like you never really feel the time change as much, or at least like I don't recall sort of feeling that. Or even in the winter, you're just still outside and get all that vitamin D. I think it does make like a huge difference to how your mood feels. But anyways, we'll keep rolling here. Now in a big old pot, you're gonna have some olive oil heating up over medium heat, and you're gonna take 2 heaping spoonfuls of that minced garlic. That's why, by the way, like I always buy one of these huge tubs, because obviously I use a ton of garlic. It would be like so much to buy garlic and keep mincing it up at the rate that I use it. But we're gonna let this get all nice and browned up in here, and then we'll add in those meatballs. So I've got all those meatballs. I'm just gonna add them in Oh my gosh, it smells so good in here. Now, just an FYI, if you were going to eat this sauce, like for dinner, you can't make it this way. Like the way I'm making it is like a slow cook, nearly 24 hours. It sits in this pot, okay? If you're going to eat it right away, brown these meatballs in like a separate frying pan and then add them to this sauce. But because this is getting like slow cooked, they will be cooked through, you know, by the time I'm done tomorrow. Okay, now we're gonna add in our cans of tomato sauce. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and then those diced tomatoes. And this is also, again, to just get really good flavor, I'm gonna add in the strips of that pork. Again, I would only do this if you're cooking this for a long time overnight, because you obviously don't want raw meat, but when it's, you know, cooking all night long, this just gives it such an amazing flavor. It's so good. And now, a can of tomato paste. This really helps like thicken it up so it's not too watery, especially since we add wine to this sauce. All right, now we're adding in some of that red wine. 2 teaspoons Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of garlic salt, some fresh basil, and a cup of Parmesan cheese. Woo! All right, you want to give it a nice little zhuzh, but don't like reach all the way to the bottom and stir like super hard because you don't want to tear up those meatballs. Just kind of, you know, zhuzh, give it a tiny little push. All the zhuzhes. Okay, I'm gonna cover this, and this is just going to simmer on low heat then all night long. This next recipe we're going to do is a Philly cheesesteak stuffed pepper. So this is a really good one if you're trying not to have a lot of like processed carbs, because obviously you're not having a Philly cheesesteak on a hoagie, instead it is in a stuffed pepper. And just another way to get more fresh, healthy vegetables in the mix. I'm gonna prep the onions and mushrooms. You kind of want the onions to be a little bit longer, so I'm just gonna kind of like cut them into quarters and then into like very thin strips. And I'm kind of just gonna throw all my veggies in this pot. But I figured while I did this, I would tell you guys a little story of something happened the other day while the kids were on winter break. So Landon and Presley, it was their first day that they didn't have school, and we did get snow here, and we built this like epic snowman. So if you want to see it, I actually posted it on like my YouTube community tab. It's on Instagram too, I think. But we built a snowman, come inside, make hot chocolate, and poor Presley dumped it all over herself within like a minute of me making it. And of course, it was the very last package of hot chocolate that I had, so I couldn't make any more. She was like really upset and crying. Luckily, she wasn't like burned or anything like that. I always give it to them like pretty cool, not like cold in temperature, but you know what I mean? Like I make sure that they're able to drink it right away so they don't burn themselves. So she went upstairs, and I was like, well, we were just out in the freezing cold. I was gonna run a bath for them anyways, especially now that she has hot chocolate all over her. So I go up and I start the bath, and Hayden had followed me up there, but I wasn't gonna like leave him in the bathroom by himself. So I said to him, like, Hayden, come with me, like we have to go get Sissy. So, you know, he's toddling behind me, and Presley was still crying. I kind of like calmed her down a little bit, and the bathtub's running. I'm like, okay, like, come on, Presley, let's get you in the tub so you can get nice and warm. And I go to my bedroom door, go to turn the handle, and it is locked. So Hayden's recently learned how to lock doors, so he must have turned the lock on it when he followed me and shut the door when we were getting Presley. So me, Hayden, and Presley are all outside of my bathroom door, and I'm like, oh my God, like the bathtub is about to overflow. Like I know it's to that point where it's like got to be really full. And normally it wouldn't be a big deal, but I went and got like the quarter, because he's like a coin that we can unlock with. It wasn't working. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't get the door unlocked, and like the tub's gonna overflow. So I called Landon, because he also knows how to use the coin, and I'm like, Landon, you try it. I'm like about to start searching online like what to do, and Brandon is like, Mommy, maybe you should just kick down the door. And I was like, yeah, I probably should just kick down the door. Probably like a busted door, right, is better than like a flood a couple days before Christmas when, you know, no one's gonna be able to come here to clean it up. Like, it would just have like basically ruined Christmas. Like, literally where it is, it's like right above the dining room where like the family, you know what I mean? Like, eats and all, everything. It just, and the kitchen too. I mean, it would have definitely, it would have been horrible. So I'm out there, kick the door, make a crack in the door, and then I don't know what it was. Like, it just popped into my brain. I went and grabbed a hanger. I have those like thin velvet hangers, like I get them on Amazon. And I took the hanger and I was able to, like, if you see this, like, the hanger just fit in there enough that I could like pop, I went below it and I could like pop it up, you know, to like get the door unlocked. Ran in, the water was like this far from the top of the tub. Like, it was about to overflow. So very, very thankful that at least we didn't have a huge disaster. I was like, Hayden, don't ever lock a door again. Like, oh my gosh, like even retelling it, it's like that sense of panic, you know what I mean? Like, just like all comes back because you are just in like sheer terrified mode of, oh my God, this is gonna be such a mess. So luckily, luck was on our side that it wasn't as bad. But I share this story because I called my mom and stepdad and like told them about what happened. And my stepdad was like, well, if that ever happens again, because, you know, obviously it's bound to be Hayden's gonna lock a door sometime and it just happens. Our tub is running. He said, go to your water main and turn it off. And I know in our house it's down in the basement, but yeah, I know not everybody has basements. So just in case you ever have a tub running and the door gets locked or something, you have a little one like Hayden, go to your water main and shut it off, and then you won't have a flood. So thought I would share that. All right, I'm almost done slicing up these mushrooms. It's kind of hard to like slice and talk, like I want to look at you at the camera, but I obviously don't want to cut my fingers off either. Let's just avoid all Christmas disasters these days. All right, we're gonna get some olive oil on these veggies, some salt, and some pepper. All right, and we'll cook these up. All right, now for these peppers, you want to keep them to almost be like a little scooped out bowl, but take out all that meat and seeds so you have more room for the actual meat and veggies in these. All right, I've got my peppers prepped in a baking dish. You want to put them in a baking dish, and you want to put a slice of provolone cheese inside each one of your peppers. These are cooking up nicely. One more minute and then I'm gonna transfer them to the peppers. All right, I've got my sauteed mushrooms and onions. They smell so good, not gonna lie. And I'm just gonna take these and put a scoop in each one of my peppers. I'm just cooking for myself, obviously. Like, if I was cooking for a huge family, I would obviously have gotten more peppers, but I just kind of know like they're not gonna keep for a super long time. Like, this is just for me for the week, so that's why I only sort of planned to have 3 for myself. So, and now I've just got my thin sliced beef, and I'm gonna add this to that same pan and cook it up until it's nice and browned. And while this cooks, I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. All nice and brown, so I'm just gonna slice this up really thin. Okay, so now I'm gonna take that shaved beef, add that to the peppers too. Okay, and then you want to set another slice of provolone cheese on top of each of the peppers. And we're gonna bake this at 400 for like 20 to 25 minutes. So for the amount that made, I definitely could have made 6 peppers, I think, but I put the leftover like steak and onions and mushrooms in here, and I feel like it will be so good to mix in with eggs for breakfast, like sort of make a Philly cheesesteak omelet. So that's what I'll keep this for. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at how good these stuffed peppers turned out. Oh my gosh. Don't those look so good. Cannot wait for this taste test. It smells so good too. Oh my goodness. Come to mama. All right, let's give this a taste test. I feel like this is gonna be, there's like, it's like all cheesy, delicious goodness. I'm gonna try to get like some steak and some like mushroom and onion. Okay, here we go. All right, time for the test. This is good. This is like such a good twist on stuffed peppers. Oh, I absolutely love this. If you like mayo, I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like when I've had a cheesesteak before, there was like mayo on it. I actually think maybe squirting just like a little bit of mayo in this when you bake it would make it like extra. Really good. This is yummy. That is so good. I hope that you guys enjoyed this healthy meal prep with me. Lots of high protein packed ideas for you. If you'd like more videos like this, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to click the thumbs up. That really helps. And just thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, love.
Even though I changed, really made an effort, promised I would change, but something stayed the same. Wanted to do better, wanted to be great, but something stayed the same. Ooh.